Last year, I went in really deep and I pulled away a lot. I pulled away from people. I pulled away from things. I pulled away from food. I did a lot of fasting. I did a lot of mindset work. I did a lot of planning. I did a lot of praying. I spent a lot of time alone, and it was necessary. I treasured my alone time, and that was really necessary because I was going through a big shift in my life. And when you are going through a transition, one of the most important things that you can do is allow yourself to have the space that you need to navigate that transition, and also allow the people around you to get used to not pulling on you as much, because 9 times out of 10, your transition may require you to be less present. And for people who are driven to please others, which I can totally identify with, that may be a difficult thing for you to hear. But if you don't allow other people to not be so reliant on you, you do not give yourself the capacity that you need to grow, because you constantly feel that you're being pulled on. You constantly feel like you have to show up for this one and that one, and then you don't find the time that you need to show up for yourself. So I really want to encourage you to take that time, give yourself that time and that space that you need when you find that you're feeling trapped, or you're feeling like you can't even think your own thoughts because all you're thinking about is what everybody else has to do. Or you may have set aside time to do something for yourself, and then you realize, no, I can't do that because I have to go show up here for this one. And it could be friends, it could be family, it could be your job, it could be your church, it could be a community organization, it could be so many different things. But giving yourself that time and that space, prioritizing yourself, it is extremely important when it comes to setting your goals and when it comes to creating the type of life that you want to live. Because who's going to live this life? You are. How can you live this life in your imagination, if you feel trapped in your current life? If you're not even showing up for yourself in your current life, in your current situation. So first, before we even start setting goals, before we even go to Hobby Lobby or Dollar Tree or the stationery store and we get that big piece of beautiful blank board and we start pulling magazines together and start imagining the type of life that we want to have, can we get practical? Because if you are not in the mindset of putting yourself first and putting your own thoughts first in your own mind, how are you going to live out that vision? It's going to stay on your vision board and not be manifested in your life. So what I want you to learn is how to put yourself first. And I call it putting yourself on the A list. And there are 5 things that we do. Appreciate your attributes. What are you good at? What's good about you? What type of personality do you have? Have you taken a personality test? Have you invested in your personal development in any way? And that leads me to the other part of appreciate your attributes, which is the other meaning of the word appreciate, and that is to raise the value of something. So we talk about appreciating assets, right? In terms of financial investment, there are assets that appreciate over time. You should be your top appreciating asset. You should be investing in yourself. And it doesn't always mean a financial investment. Because when I started investing in myself, it wasn't a financial investment. It was a time investment. It was an attention investment. It was a mental investment, right? After you appreciate your attributes, you're going to affirm your value. If you do not affirm your value in your own life, you're going to be at the mercy of the acceptance of others and the affirmation of others. You're going to need to learn how to affirm yourself. Then we can articulate our dreams, because you realize that you are valid, you are valuable. Now you can speak about what it is that you want to do and what it is that you want to have. And you're able to communicate that not just to yourself. You're able to communicate that to God in prayer. You're able to communicate that to other people. So you now start to set those boundaries that you want to set. Because if you haven't done the work to value yourself, to appreciate yourself, to understand yourself, to know yourself, you're not going to set the boundaries that you need to set in order to get to the goals that you want to get to. So appreciate your attributes, affirm your value, articulate your dreams, act authentically. That's the next one. Be you. Be who you are, not who you are expected to be. Not who you want to be, but who you actually are. Allow yourself the honesty. I'm sorry, I'm checking my surroundings. Allow yourself the honesty of being true to you. And when you start to show up as your true self, when you start to express your true feelings, that's when you can start to attract things into your life and attract people into your life that are aligned with your true self. And I know some of this might sound a little woo-woo. It's not. It's not. When you know who you are and you know whose you are, you understand that you are a child of God and that you deserve, just by your existence, to be happy and healthy and whole and productive. You start to communicate that just by being, not even by opening your mouth, just by being. You bring a different vibe, you bring a different essence into every space that you enter when you do this work. And the last thing is access abundant life. And a lot of us don't dream big enough, don't dream at all, because we don't think that we have access. When you start to care for yourself, you start to love yourself, you start to pay attention to yourself, you start to develop yourself spiritually and mentally and emotionally. That is your permission slip. You are doing the work. That is your permission slip to access abundant life. God doesn't want you to suffer and live miserably and feel less than and not have hope. So I want to invite you in to do these 5 things with me. Appreciate your attributes, affirm your value, articulate your dreams, act authentically, and give yourself the permission to access abundant life. I'm going to be rolling out some videos, and there's also a resource that I've made available. I'm going to put the link. It is called the Vision Sequence, and there is a complimentary preview section that will walk you through these 5 principles. So if you want to join me, just click the link in my bio. You can join me with the free preview. If you want to go ahead and get enrolled in the Vision Sequence, you can pay the full amount or you can pay over time in installments, because it is a 1-year program. We're going to be going through the entire year next year together, because I don't want to teach you how to create a vision board and then just leave you on your own. So I'm willing to walk through this with you for the entire year. And as I just turned 47, the pricing right now is $47 a month for the next year, and there will be training with me. You will have access to resources, and we can go through this thing together. So if you're up for it, go ahead, click the link and join me. And if you want to test the waters and you're not really sure, I completely get that. And whether you decide to work with me or not, I want you to have this resource. I want you to have this resource because you deserve to be on the A-list in your own life. I'll talk to you guys very soon. Take care.